Good afternoon, it is Sunday the 4th of May. It's just coming up to 1:30. So I started before at 12:30. I had a private job. It was only about 10 minutes away from my house. So I drove round, picked them up, and I've just dropped them off at Liverpool Airport. It was about 5 or 10 minutes ago. I've just dropped them off, obviously come round the corner, and then I've just swapped my magnets over so I can go and jump on Uber, see if anything's happening. If it is, I'll stay out. If not, I'll go home, spend some time with the family. But yeah, no idea. I'm assuming it was going to be a little bit busier, being the bank holiday and whatnot. So yeah, I'll see what happens, and I'll give you a little update in a bit. Yeah, just to quickly add to that, I forgot, obviously when you come on online, because I don't do airport Uber, you see, because I'm parked up around the corner, I've just come online, it's automatically added me to the waiting queue. I think I've done it kind of once for like 10 minutes because I was passing and I just wanted to see what it was like, so I thought I'd give it a minute, see what's happening. So currently they're saying there's 26 to 30 X's and there's 11 to 15 XLs. It says that there's 4 flights due in between 1 and 2. It's bang on 1:30 now. So yeah, I thought, I don't know, I might give it 10 or 15 minutes, just see if anything pops up, or to see how quickly you move up the queue, because like I said, it's not something that I've done before. So I'll see what happens there. Know me, I'm going to get bored quite quickly. But yeah, I'll let you know how I get in. So it's just turned 2:30 and I am losing the will to live. I don't know how people do it. So sat here for, I think it was just over half an hour. I was doing some like social media posts and things like that, so I was kind of busy. Where did I start off? It was saying there was 26 to 30 X's and 11 to 15 XLs. So bear in mind it's now been an hour, and it's saying there's 6 to 10 X's. So about between 20 and 25 X's have been taken in an hour, and it's saying there's 1 to 5 XLs left. So only 10 XLs have been used in an hour. I did pull off at one point because it was saying I was like 10 to 15 in the queue or something for XLs. So I pulled off, and then the second I pulled off, it like refreshed and said, oh no, you 1 to 5 now. So I was like, right, okay, so I turn around, park back up again. But yeah, it's just, honestly, I don't know how people do it. A couple of little jobs have come up, they weren't obviously directly from the airport, they were kind of local, but they were like a £4 job or a £5 job or something. So I've sat here now for the past hour looking at the whole of the northwest. Liverpool, Knowsley, St Helens, all the way up to Southport. It's all red and it's all surging, all of it. And I was like, it's one of them where you think, well, I've sat here for like 30-40 minutes now, I might as well carry on. And then it was 1 to 5. You know, it's not so much because I wanted some big fantastic job. It was more of the case of because I've never done it before. I've never been to the front of the queue to see what kind of jobs are you actually going to get and what prices are you going to get offered and things like that. So see, like the next job's come up here, £8, multiple stops, going 20 minutes away. So by the time you pick them up, you do the multiple stops, it's like a half-an-hour job, and that's £8. Do people honestly sit here for this shite? Honestly, why do people even do it? There's another one here, but this isn't at the airport. This is 2.5 miles away, going 10 miles over to Runcorn. So it's like a 25-minute job, £12.98. It's just shocking. Honestly, I don't know how people do it. So I think I'm just going to spew it. I honestly can't be bothered. Like I said, I know it says I'm XL 1 to 5 in the queue, but I just can't be bothered. Like I said, I've been here for an hour now, and apparently there was like 4 flights coming in, but it's just too slow. I just can't do it. It's that same X job again. I hate it when you click X saying, I'm not going to do that. Drivers behind you are waiting to make a decision. It looks like you are not ready to take trips. To help make airports work for everyone, we need to keep the queue moving. So you click OK. So maybe if I go on and I turn the X off. So basically it's offering me X jobs, and because I don't want to do it, it's saying, oh well, you know, look, you're holding everybody up. It's like, seriously, is that it? Like, have people come down and they've sat here for over an hour to get an £8 job for a half an hour? And that's what people are doing. So yeah, not a single XL job has popped up in the past hour. Just a handful of X's. I've just turned X off now because obviously it's starting to get arsey with me because I won't take these little stupid jobs. But yeah, I think I'm just going to crack on, and because I'm just wasting my day here. This is ridiculous. I'll leave this for the donkeys that want to sit here. So yeah, I'm going to leave the queue now, and I'm going to crack on with my shift. So it's just turned 3:30. I haven't really done much, to be honest. Where was we? So we started at the airport. I carried on waiting a little bit, and then pretty much just gave up in the end. It kept coming up saying, you know, other drivers are in the queue, we want to move things along. Basically, it was trying to get me to take like little X jobs for like £8. That was going to take half an hour. Honestly, I don't know why people do it. There's zero money to be made sitting in airport queues. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's a complete gamble. I would rather go to the shop and buy scratch cards. I think you're more likely to make more money doing that than sitting in the airports. So I set off anyway, pulled away from the airport. It then started offering me 2 or 3 little small kind of local jobs, £3-4, which I ignored. And then the XL job came up from Widnes to Lime Street in Liverpool. That was £27.99, and that was a 22-minute job, which was 10 miles. So it just goes to show there's nothing happening at the airport, yet if you drive 2 to 3 minutes away from the airport, you're getting nearly £30 XL jobs into the city centre. So I done that, dropped them off. And then I was kind of coming out of the city centre. I thought I'll start heading towards Formby, see if I pick something up on the way, because everywhere was all surging and everything. Again, I set the destination for Formby, and the system obviously doesn't work. It tries to get you to carry on along your route-ish, pick someone up, do a 180-degree turn, and then go 3-4 miles back to the city centre. And it's like, but it comes up saying, here's a job along your route. And it's like, well, it's not. It's going completely in the opposite direction. So it was doing that for a while, up until a point where it said, are you still there? Yeah, I'm still there. It then said, you're no longer online. So I thought, well, stick it up your arse then. Like, I honestly can't be bothered. So that was it. So I just drove to Formby. I didn't even log back on because I couldn't be bothered listening to the pinging of the jobs for these £3-4 jobs, which was in a surge area as well, which were all trying to take me back to the city centre, which was the opposite direction from which I was going. So yeah, I've still got like over half a tank. I just thought, because there is no BP one towards like Southport and whatnot, so I thought, well, I might as well get a little cheeky top up now. You know, it might only take like 20 minutes or so to fill me back up, and then I'll carry on. But yeah, up to now it's just been diabolical. But like I said, the first hour, because I came online on Uber at 1:30, the first hour, it was just over an hour, it was like an hour and 10 minutes, I just wanted to see what it was like at the airport. But just in case anyone's wondering, it takes you just over an hour to get to the front of the queue, and that's because I had X and XL turned on. To get 25 X's out the way takes over an hour, and to get, I think it was about 15 XLs, again takes over an hour to get to the front. No XL jobs came off, so yeah, it's not for me. I won't be doing it again. The only time I've used that kind of feature was when I had an Uber customer that I dropped off at Manchester Airport. It then gave me a rematch straight away, so I just went straight round to the collection point at Terminal 3, I think it was, and picked them up and then left. So that's not too bad. That's a good little feature. But in regards, or in respects to just going and sitting in the Uber queue, don't do it, honestly. It's ridiculous. I don't know if people are expecting like £500 jobs or something. So yeah, so basically I've done about 2 hours and I've only done that one job, but granted the first hour was in that queue, so it doesn't really count, does it? So yeah, so I've done like that one job really, I'd say, in the past hour. So 28 quid for the hour isn't too bad, even though it only took just shy of 23 minutes. So yeah, I'm just gonna get a little top up here, might go in, get something to eat, a bit peckish, and then I'll carry on, see what's happening. Just while I'm charging up, I was just thought it might be a little interesting. I touched on the other day about like, you know, if you've got your own operator's license, knowing your own worth, and you know, when you're sending prices out to people and all that kind of stuff. So I think I mentioned it today. I had a lady who was asking about an airport run to Birmingham Airport. It's kind of a last minute job. She hasn't sorted anything out. So she asked for a price, so I had a good look around anyway. Again, I already had like a bit of a price in mind. I knew it was going to be probably at least between like 500 and 600 just off the top of my head without me even like looking into it. But I needed to go over it in a bit more detail to work out the actual running cost, the toll booths, you know, how much the drop-off points were at the airport was at Birmingham and stuff like that. And on top of that, I then look at like what Uber's charging for an XL. I then look at like what 3 or 4 other companies in and around the Northwest would charge for something like that. So I can kind of slide in there. So it's like a fair kind of rate, but I'm not running for peanuts anyway. So anyway, I had a good look around. There was firms charging, I think the cheapest firm I found was about 680, I think. And it went all the way up to like 800-900 quid for a similar vehicle to this, not like executive or anything. It was just for a people carrier. I then looked at Uber, and Uber for an XL one way, granted it fluctuates, as you know, but when I looked at it, it was in the evening, so it was going to be a bit quieter. It was £250 in an XL to Birmingham Airport from where she wanted picking up from. So at best, if she was lucky, it's going to be about a £500 round trip. Obviously it's going to be more expensive when she goes, because if she's booking that for like 9 o'clock in the morning, obviously like rush hour, when there's a little bit more surgery, a little bit more demand and whatnot, she's going to end up paying more if she went down that route, of course. So anyway, you're looking at least £500 return with Uber. And like I said, some of the other firms were like, the cheapest other one I found was like 680 plus. So I had a little good look at it, and done some like breakdowns and stuff, and realised, you know, the tolls, because obviously you need to go down. I think the toll, it's like £6.80 for the car. So obviously you need to go down to drop them off as one, coming back home as another one, and then the return again. So you've got like 4 tolls, comes to like £32.20. Drop-off fees are a £5, so obviously there's 2 of them. And then obviously you've then just got like kind of like your fuel costs on top of that. So that obviously depends if you're a diesel or if you're electric and stuff like that. So I kind of went in with a price that I thought was fair, because obviously I don't run at Uber prices, but then I don't charge, you know, ridiculous big, like, you know, executive like £900 jobs, because I don't have fully reclining, you know, lie flat chairs. I don't have PS5s. I don't have 32-inch screens and, you know, things like that. So I don't charge them sorts of prices, but it is more of an executive vehicle. So I went in at a price of 600. So she's had a look at that. She went, "Oh, that's great, thanks. Yeah, that's kind of like what I was expecting. I'll get back to you." So obviously she's having a look around. So she did say that she knew some V-Class guys that were in Liverpool. She said, but they don't do airport runs, they only do funerals. So obviously, you know, it's a really nice car and things like that for funerals, because obviously you can charge top dollar for funerals and weddings and stuff like that. So she got back to me before. She said, "Oh, thanks for that." She said, "However, I've spoken to one of the V-Class lads, and he said he'll do it for 475 return." So I was like, all right, not to worry, you know, thanks for reaching out for me for the quote anyway, and you know, I'm glad you got something sorted for your mum. So I've just like briefly gone over, you know, if he's doing it for 475. So in total, it's a round trip of, this is just from the lady's house. This doesn't include the guy from Liverpool having to travel to her house as well, which is probably going to add, you know, another between 20 and 40 miles, depending on, you know, overall, depending on where he lives. So just from the customer's house to the airport, return is 416 miles. So if you're looking at like the running costs of like a diesel V-Class, it ranges. When you look online, it says it can be anywhere between like 12p to 20 pence per mile, basically. I think there's obviously so many variations and depending on the year and whatnot. So the fuel, you know, the guy's looking at between 60 and 70 quid. Apparently, I think it's going to be way more than 60 or 70 quid to do 416 miles. But anyway, I don't know because I haven't got one of them vehicles. I've just had a quick Google. And then by the time you stick on the tolls, the drop-off fees, things like that, it's then saying after the expenses, you're then looking at 369. Then when you get your 369, you're then minusing your tax and your national insurance and whatnot. It's then leaving you with 276. Then when you get your 276, you then look at, well, how long's the job actually going to take? So if you drive straight there and there's absolutely no traffic, which obviously is never going to happen, especially when you're setting off in rush hour traffic, you're looking at about 2.5 hours. If you're really lucky, you might get there in about 2 hours, but as we all know, you're setting off in rush hour, it's all bumper to bumper at parts, and then when you go in and around Birmingham, it's, you know, it's really gridlock. So if it was me and I was taking somebody to the airport, I would factor in 2.5 hours to allow for a little bit of traffic. So in total, obviously there and back, there's your 5 hours, and then you return another 5, so it's over 10 hours. So after, like I said, once you've managed your tax and national insurance, you're on about 276. You then divide that by the 10 hours work you've done. It's then coming out at £27.60 an hour, which is a good rate. You know, it's, I'm not going to argue with it, it's a fair rate or whatever. But yeah, I'm just kind of wondering what other people would run at, because I wouldn't do that job for that price, purely because it's not enough. You know, it works out that this guy is running, you know, if you look at it for after his tax and national insurance, which is 276, well, that's like 416 miles. So it's kind of however you look at it. If you look at it from a point of view before he's done all of his deductions, which is 475, then he's running at just over £1 a mile. But by the time you've took off your all of your tolls and whatnot, he's running at about 80 pence a mile. So I don't know if that's because he wants to do the job. I don't know if that's through desperation. I don't know if that's because he hasn't actually sat down and actually gone over the figures. It's just like, oh, I'll do that for such and such. So to me, what he's done, he's gone on, priced it on Uber. Uber's saying it's 500 quid. So then he's gone back at, oh, I'll do it for 475. So he can say, I'm cheaper than Uber, which is kind of quite embarrassing, really. It was kind of like, I touched on it the other day and I said, like Uber's got cottoned onto the fact now that people are running around in these old raggedy ass V-classes, and they've got sick of it, so they've basically like delisted them now as being executive and comfort and everything, because people are going out and spending 10 grand on a V-class, branding themselves as executive. So then people are naturally saying, oh look, I'll have this V-class, take me. They're then running around and charging less than what Uber charge, and it's just, you know, people say it's kind of like a race to the bottom, and it's not for me. You know, I could easily go back to her now if I wanted to and say, well, I'll do it for 450 if you want, and undercut this guy by 25 quid, but why would I do that? You know, that's that's then £150 cheaper than what I'd quoted. And it's just, it's not something that I'd do. I wouldn't entertain it. I've had loads of people in the past who have messaged say like, I've quoted 150 quid, they'll say, oh, there's a guy here who said he'll do it for like 140 or 130. You know, and that's all they're doing. They're just playing drivers off against each other. And there's loads of drivers that'll do it. And then there's loads of drivers like myself who won't, who will just say, oh, right, okay, crack on. And at the end of the day, you get what you pay for. So, and as I've mentioned on my channel in the past, I've had people who've turned prices down for whatever reason, mainly because they're saying, oh, you know, such and such will do it a little bit cheaper. And then I've had a lot of them customers then come back and book back in with me and said, oh, they couldn't do it, or the cars broke down, or a big job's come off, or something like that. So yeah, a lot of the time basically the customer's just trying to pull a fast one because basically they want to try and chip your price down. I am not running round after all of my expenses for my car, my insurance, my operator's license. I have to pay somewhere for my so I'm able to have my operator's license. You know, there's just so many things that you've got, and I'm not going to turn around and then say, right, I'll do it cheaper. You know, and one of the main factors that she turned around and said was, if I book you, am I going to get you? And I was like, yeah, why? What do you mean? She said, oh, what I mean is, do you have like loads of drivers working for you? I said, no, it's just me. It's just like a one-man band. She said, oh no, that's great. She said, because there's so many times where I've booked cars in the past, even these V classes that she's talking about. I don't know what contact that she's got with these V classes. She said, I'll book someone because I think that's the individual that I'm getting, but then somebody else turns up, and I'm like, well, that's the issue that you have. You'll have like operators, you'll book through them, but they won't come out. They'll find another operator that's operating in closer to your house, and they'll pass the job on to them, and basically just take a little bit of a commission, because they're not going to run 20 miles over to your house to do that job, because that's the profit then taken out of it. Yeah, and then that's one of the key things for her, was because she wanted to see the face basically and the vehicle of someone who's taking her mum and her children, you know, all the way to Birmingham Airport and back. But that was it. I just thought I'd share that with you. You might be interested, but it was interesting for me basically to see other drivers, especially so-called V-class drivers, who only deal with like funerals and stuff like that. They don't even do airport runs because they class themselves as, you know, they're above airport runs, but they're happy to do an airport run cheaper than what Uber would do an airport run. It's baffled. I'm baffled by that one. So anyway, yeah, just thought I'd share that with you. Car's nearly charged, so I'm going to be setting off shortly, and I'll so the time is just after 8 o'clock. I have just recorded this, but I actually recorded it as dash cam footage instead of this, so I have to sit here now and waffle again. So basically, the day's been all over the place, to be honest. I done that hour at the airport, which was just a complete loss. I then done like another hour, which was like 2:30 till 3:30. I got that one job, which was to Liverpool, and then I went over to the charging station in Formby. So I'd only done 1 hour on Uber. I then carried on at 4:30. After it's charged up, I got a £7.1, which was Southport to Southport. That was a 4-minute job, 1.5 miles. I then had a Surge job, £6.73. That was a 10-minute job, going 2.4 miles. A £6.93, 10-minute job, going 4.5 miles. And then a £9.86, which was a 9-minute job, going 3.3 miles. So that was that hour, which was like 4:30 till about 5:30ish, which was a decent kind of hour, to be honest. It was like 13, about 19, 28. It was like 28 quid for that hour. And then a job popped up, which was Southport going to Wigan. It initially came up as £50. I've done the job. and it increased by the whole 4p. So I got £50 and 4p. It was an XL job. It took 42 minutes and it went 20 miles. So the reason I took it was I needed to call back home anyway. So granted, this job went past my house a little bit, but then I thought it's going to be roughly 15 to 20 minutes from there to get back to my house. I had to go back. I had left my jacket at home. My head was banging. I needed some paracetamol and whatnot. So, and plus the rate was good on the job. So I took it anyway, done 50 quid. That job, I picked them up at 10 to 6 and dropped them off roughly about 6:30. I then logged off, went home. I've been at home for an hour and a half. And then I've just come round to this BP charging station, which is kind of like the closest one. I still had like about half a tank, but I just wanted a bit of a top up before I head out now, and then this charge should do me for the rest of the shift. The BP chargers are quite scarce. There isn't any in Southport, so I didn't want to head down there and then it gets a bit busy and then I have to drive like to Formby or something to charge up, or I have to the next nearest one is like Skem, so I'd have to, you know, travel back through Ormskirk and everything. So yeah, headed over here. I'm hoping I'm going to be done in like the next 10 minutes so I can leave here for about 8:30. So technically I haven't really done that much time on Uber today at all, because the first hour I'm just not classing really as an hour, because that was more of an experiment at the airport where I didn't do anything. And then had that one job in that hour, which was the 2:30 to 3:30, which was that like £30 going to Liverpool. And then after the charge, at that point it was like 4:30. I've then done them couple of jobs that I've just mentioned. So I've done 3 hours up to now, and I'm on £108 and 56p. So over the 3 hours, that's £36 an hour. You know, which is good. Obviously, what's made the job is basically I've had that bigger job going to Liverpool, which was 30 quid for like 20 minutes. And then I've then done that £50 job, which was like 40 minutes. So I've been given like quite decent jobs. I don't know if Uber is taking pity on me because they gave me absolutely sod all at the airport. Very unlikely, like, but and that's about it. So yeah, I'm gonna charge back up now, and then just carry on, see what it's like. The last couple of bank holidays have all been completely crap, so I'm not expecting big things. However, I just thought I'd charge up anyway. And go out. Normally I would have probably just headed out and seen what it was like if it was busy, and then I would have jumped on a charger in Southport like Instavolt or something, but because I've got this BP card with all this free credit on it, I thought I might as well top up, and even if it is quiet and I come home, it doesn't matter anyway because I'm not paying for this electric right now. So yeah, that's about it. I'll update you in a bit, and hopefully it's still busy-ish. So it's coming up to 11:15. It's been 2 hours since the last update. Came off charge at about 9:15. I then got a job from Skelmersdale to Ormskirk, so I wasn't too far from it. £13.14. It was a 14-minute job going 7.4 miles. I then got an X-Priority from Ormskirk to Birkdale in Southport. That was £17.56, 27-minute job going 11 miles. I took it because I wanted to make my way towards Southport and get out of Ormskirk. After that, little £4.37, 2-minute job going 0.6 of a mile. And that was almost the hour. The job after that I took bang on the hour, so I'll count that as the next hour to try and keep it fair. So in that hour, it was good. It was 10, 20, 30, about £35 in that hour. And then it was coming up to 9:45. I then had an XL, including the £2 tip, was £14.06. 12-minute job going 5.2 miles. Again, this is just in Southport. I then had £11.24, 11-minute job going 4.4 miles. I then had, including the £2 tip, a Priority, £9.30. It was a 6-minute job going 2.3 miles. and then I've just done another XL including a £2 tip, £8.15, 3-minute job going 0.7 of a mile, but I did run about 2 miles for that. So in that last hour I think that was even better again. So that was roughly 14, 25, 34, 34, it was about £44 in that last hour, so not too bad. So currently on £186.38. I've done 5 hours, so I've done £37.27 an hour. I've just come offline because thank God for the calendar. I've remembered, well, I remembered about 3 or 4 hours ago, I've got a 5-to-1 pickup from Liverpool Airport, and that's coming back to Southport, so it's not far off 11 o'clock now. So I'm going to start, I haven't had any food yet, so I'm going to go and pick some food up, head towards kind of Formby, which is on the way to Liverpool Airport. I'll top up my tank there just so it's full. I'm probably on about 2/3, but I can be topping up whilst I'm eating. I'll then carry on from there down to Liverpool Airport, so I'm there just before 1 o'clock, and then I'm bringing the customer back to Southport, which is less than an hour. It's like 40-50 minutes maybe. So yeah, I'll be back in Southport for at the extreme be like 2 o'clock, just before 2 o'clock. So yeah, after that I'll throw the stick the Uber app back on, maybe see if anything's happening about 2 o'clock. Can't see anything happening at 2 o'clock in the morning around Southport. But yeah, other than that, yeah, I'll do it. I think I'll do a little update once I've come back online and I'm doing Uber, because like I said, there's nothing for me to record now other than I'm just going down to pick someone up from the airport and bring them pretty much back to exactly where I am now. So yeah, technically I don't really need to go and charge. I've got enough, like I said, it's like I've got 2/3 of a tank. Even if I was to go from here now to the Liverpool Airport, what's the miles on that? It is 31 miles, 42 minutes. But yeah, so I've got enough in my tank to get there and back. But yeah, I'd rather just top up a little bit just in case. So yeah, I'm going to crack on with that anyway, and I will... oh, one of them other jobs was quite funny just before. I picked them up, group of 4, from Churchtown. So they didn't tell me where they were going, obviously it's just on the app, so I started heading towards it. And when we're nearly there, I heard one of them say to the other one, where are we going here? And I'm thinking, well, it's got nothing to do with me, I'm just following the map. And then she goes, oh, let me have a look. She gets her phone out. She went, oh no, it's taking us to my work. So she put her work in instead of where they were going. So she said, oh, I'm so sorry, we were supposed to be going to town, I'll update it now. So she adds it as a new stop. So I was like, right, no worries. So she'd put New Skelmersdale Road, which is like the main road running into Southport. So I said, right, okay, so I swipe, go to the next drop. So we start heading towards the town centre, and then I turn off down this little side street called Skelmersdale Street. So I hear a friend go, where are we going now? I said, have you put the wrong address in again? She went, oh sorry, I've put the wrong one in again. She said, just drop us off towards the end of this road here. I said, where is it you're supposed to be going? She said, the Skelmersdale Hotel. So she's gone from New Skelmersdale Road to Skelmersdale Street instead of Skelmersdale Hotel. Classic. So I dropped them off. Her mate said, I'll have to get out here, she said, because I'm about to wet myself. I said, yeah. I said, you best get out then. So I dropped them off. So yeah, they ended up paying more for their job because they were adding more destinations on, even though they were incorrect. And that's about it. So up to now, Uber shift has been good. Ideally, should have done more hours, but as I've said before, without repeating myself too much, came out a bit later because of my private jobs. Then I was wasting time at the airport, and then I've wasted some more time going home this evening for a little bit. So yeah, I'll go and crack on, and I will. I might see you at about 2. Depends what I'm feeling. After I've dropped them off, I might be a bit tired, so I'll think I might just go home. But if I put the app on and it's all surgy, then I'll do a little update and say, right, I'm cracking on again for another hour or 2. But yeah, so if you don't see me, it's because I was tired and I went home. If you do see me, it's because Uber looked a little bit good at about 2 o'clock in the morning. So I'll